You know, guys, there are people out there who live in a bubble, and in that bubble that they live in, they think that it automatically gives them the ability to, how do I say, play the victim card, which is exactly what we're going to be talking about here. Now, guys, let me go ahead and start this video out by saying that Dwayne Wade is one of the most clutch basketball players I've ever seen. One of the best in my personal opinion, at least when it comes to postseason. Now, you guys can argue the career numbers, the career stats, all you want. And there are many people out there who believe this entire ordeal is damaging his legacy. Well, I don't think it's damaging his playing career legacy, but it is definitely damaging his legacy as a man, as I'll explain here in this video. But I'm also going to explain to you guys why it is that living in a bubble after a while kind of creates this this little thing that we're seeing about him saying that the state of Florida will ultimately not accept his family, his life, all that stuff there. But before we get into that, I need to go ahead and throw a couple of things out there. There'll be two videos out on short timer prepping. I will be leaving the links in the description box to a previous video that I did on that channel about the whole Eddie Gallagher, Dan Crenshaw ordeal and why it is that we're now going to be looking at the David Goggins portion of it. Of course, it'll be two parts. One will be on his comments on the military itself, and then also to go on top of that, the entire beef itself from Goggins' point of view. The cops versus criminals take, that will be coming out tomorrow afternoon, and the roots of, well, let's just say, the history of gun control as far as is it racist or was it ever racist, that right there will be out on Sunday. So make sure you guys stick around for those videos. So with that there being said, let's go ahead and dive into this. So many of you guys know that Dwayne Wade has a son. He has a son that is claims to be a girl, is transitioning, all that stuff there. And many people have assessed that the reason why Dwayne Wade has been so vocal about this is because of his wife, Gabrielle Union. Now, guys, there are certain topics I don't like to touch on this channel, and one of those topics, of course, is marriage and what is going on in a marriage or what is going on in a divorce per se. It is personal. I am not married, and I don't feel like I should judge, even though I do think there are some actions that, quite frankly, are condemnable. In this case right here, transitioning little kids. I've told you guys before exactly how I feel about this. It's sick, twisted, evil, it's immoral, and quite frankly, it should not be done. Speaking of that, I do have to send a kudos out to the state of Florida because I've kind of criticized them over them not banning this outright, but hey, I got to give these guys some credit. You know, I'm very, very tough on this. Of course, when it comes to saying that someone may be overrated, but Florida was able to get an entire Pride event to cancel their show because, yeah, that's right. These people wanted to have something to do with children. You see, children are not allowed at this event. And that right there should be a massive red flag to you guys about this community. That obviously this community, that there being the T and the L and the I got to say it a certain way or else YouTube will dox the video, they are in fact coming after your children. Now, gang, I don't care what you do in your personal life. If you want to transition and change everything about you, give up the sex you were born with and you're like in your 20s or 30s, that is your decision. You have to live with that. You're the one that has to face God. You're the one that has to face your maker. You're the one who has to deal with that. Okay, however, what I do not like is I do not like this entire thing being thrown upon our children. Of course, these children, 80% of them, eventually grow out of this phase by the time they get the age of 18. So there's no point in giving these kids hormone blockers or anything like that and destroying their lives and destroying their bodies before they even get to that, before they even get to the possibility of even thinking about getting said surgery. This right here is a decision that I'm sure that a lot of families have to think about. And obviously you have the whole emotional hostage taking thing where kids will say, oh, if I can't be a girl, then I would just die. Yeah, you have to think about that there, and obviously there are ways that this right here may occur. And of course, you've got therapists out there telling you that, you know, you should do this for the well-being of your child, when in reality, what you should simply do is just let your child grow up, actually grow into who the hell they are before you make that type of decision. As a matter of fact, most of these kids, especially the males who claim they want to be girls, at some point in time, they just end up becoming gay men. So maybe that right there may lend weight to another theory, which, by the way, we may discuss at some point in time. Fact of the matter is this right here. Dwayne Wade saying that he does not think the state of Florida will accept him or accept his family because of the way they live, I think is a load of bullcrap, and I'll tell you right now why this is the case. You see, Dwayne Wade, of course, as I've mentioned earlier, is married to Gabrielle Union. actress at one point in time. She was hot crap. A lot of people loved Gabrielle Union. She was pretty much everywhere to the point to where it was absolutely annoying to see her, okay? That there being said, I never really and truly disliked Gabrielle Union. And like I said before, I've always liked Dwayne Wade. As a matter of fact, Dwayne Wade is the only part of that LeBron experiment down there in Miami that I actually like, because I've always liked him, especially as a basketball player. But the question is he ruining his legacy? Well, as I said before, he's not ruining his legacy as a basketball player. That is cemented. It will always be what it is. And if you go to the Miami International Airport, which I have been to because I've been to Miami, love going to Miami. It's kind of expensive. It's fun, but it is expensive. You will see a lot of paraphernalia. You see a lot of shirts that, quite frankly, have Dwayne Wade on them. Dwayne Wade is kind of viewed in a lot of ways almost more mythical than LeBron James was, as he should be. But the thing is this right here, is he ruining his legacy as a man? Yes, he is. And I'll tell you right now why. Nobody likes somebody who is pussy whooped. Nobody does. Many people, by the way, think that Dwayne Wade is being influenced by Gabrielle Union. She is the one who made the decision, so therefore she obviously is the one who wears the pants in the family. She's also got a lot of star appeal, especially when it comes to Hollywood. You know, Gabrielle Union could go back and star in a movie. I'm pretty sure people would take her back, even though she's not exactly what we call hot crap anymore. That's just the way that it is. I had to word that one right there a little bit differently too, in case you guys were confused, because obviously we got to be a little bit more family friendly here. But the thing is this right here. Dwayne Wade obviously is hurting his legacy as a man, not as a basketball player. So when you hear him say something like, I'm scared that the state of Florida, the people of Florida will not accept me, just know it's bullcrap. Let me say this. D-Wade, you live in a gated community, okay? You live in a gated community in South Florida. You got Fort Lauderdale, Fort Myers is on the other side of the Panhandle, right there below Central Florida. You got Doral, you've got Hollywood, Florida, you've got all these communities, Homestead, and around Miami. A lot of people down there love you, okay? They don't like what you're doing. They don't like what you're doing with your son. They don't like how you've gone out of your way to go ahead and accept this whole ordeal, this whole trans fad. They don't like that, okay? But at the same time, though, I highly doubt that anybody in the state of Florida is going to walk up to you and say, hey, man, that right there was some pretty effed up stuff. Let me rip off my Dwayne Wade jersey and throw it at you. Let me go ahead and just piss on it or take a crap on it. I don't think anybody's going to do that, dude. You live in a gated community. You live right around a lot of white people. And I mean, these white people, by the way, probably vote Democrat. These white people, by the way, are virtue signalers. These white people, by the way, are white liberals. These white people, by the way, don't even really truly believe in that message, but they kind of sort of, how do I say, they kind of preach it because it keeps them in the in crowd, because that's kind of sort of what the hell it's about. So no, D. Wade, I don't think for one second that the people of Florida will not accept you, and I don't think the government of Florida will not accept you. I think at the end of the day, though, man, I think the only people who are going to complain about this type of stuff is going to be someone like myself. Someone who obviously has to talk about this online, because obviously what you are doing is completely jacked up. But at the end of the day, though, I don't think the people who live around your area are really and truly going to care about this. So stop with the virtue signaling, victim playing BS. So while it is definitely true that we do not agree with what you're doing, we do not agree with the fact that you basically are allowing your young son to transition into being a girl, I don't think anybody that lives around you really and truly cares, because we kind of sort of know at this point in time that you've kind of sold your soul here over your wife. We kind of sort of know this. We kind of sort of don't really care, because you're not really a man anymore. Just another pussy whoop celebrity that likes to virtue signal and tell us all how bad people are, which, by the way, is a problem that the NBA has been having for a while and will continue to have. After a while, when you hear people who live in gated communities, who live around mostly white people, scream and holler about how much they don't like white people, meanwhile working for a white man, because most of the owners in the NBA are white, who, by the way, are worth millions, in some cases even billions of dollars, paying you millions of dollars to run up and down a slab of wood to try to put a ball in a hoop. After a while, people are going to figure out that, yeah, it's just not worth my time anymore. You know what? Just pining over you, and of course seeing how you basically degraded yourself and degraded your family. After a while, what happens is that people just develop some form of indifference, no emotion at all. And you got to think to yourself, is it better to be loved, or is it better to be hated? You see, even if you're hated and you're disliked, people will still tune in, so that way they can make fun of you. They can rage click. They can go in there and rage in the comment section. They can hit that thumbs down button. They can do all that crap, but at least you're getting some form of attention. After a while, people just get indifferent because people, quite frankly, when they become indifferent, they don't really care. They're not surprised. They have no more emotional attachment to you. And that right there, my friend, is exactly what looks like what's going to happen here soon. This right here just sounds to me like the cries of a man who's looking for attention, or the cries of a man who knows he's drowning. Fact of the matter is at the end of the day, Dwayne Wade, people just aren't going to care. And I really and truly don't think the people in the state of Florida care. Now, guys, that right there is my rant for the day. If you guys like this content, please hit the like button, subscribe, share the video, sign off in the comment section, and I'll see you guys later.